Welcome to today's topic, variables. Let's get into the video. Hello, okay. Oops. This is Griffin Golding, and I am here to teach you about variables. Okay, so there's a couple different types of variables that we shall be getting into today. First off, just delete that. Okay, so first off, there's just your average everyday integer variable. That's y right here. Don't know if you can see that. Anyways, your integer variable is just it's a number that's it's a positive number. Actually, I think it can be negative in the decimals, and it cannot have a big decimal count. So here's like an example of that would just be one right there. Very simple. Now the next main form of variable is a float. This is basically just an integer, but with an extra. Yes, you have the dot and the zero, So 123.0 would be a float, or it could be like 125.69 or whatever. It can be anything like that. Next up, we've got your strings, which your strings are any types of words. So it'd be like, hello, how are you? That would be a string, right? And then finally, we've got these complex numbers, and therefore doing complex equations, as you can see here, it's chose a random number and got a complex. Anyways, so I'll say, and so then a really handy command to find out what type of variable your variable is the type and then variable. So it's just, and also I forgot to mention Booleans. So a Boolean here, a Boolean, and then basically anything, right? Is a is true, right? As you can see here, true, and this is the first one, right? And I think if you come over here, here's a list of like the here's a list of everything that's not true, though, right there. Also, I'll have that in the link, just so everyone knows. And so if you were to print something like Boolean false, that would come out as false. And so then what you can see is you can see here we have a float. That's the first one, which is 123.0. Complex, right here. Integer, right here. And string, right here. And so then also what you can see is that Python is very cool in the fact that it can kind of switch around variables to when you need it. But so one thing it cannot do is, like, let's say you want to do, I don't know, 120 plus 1, right? Well, you have the code down here that looks like it can do it. See, all you have to do is do t plus 1, but when you put it in, boop, it says not. You have to put in an integer, and so all you have to do is come over here and go to integer t. And now let's try that again. 20 plus 1 equals 121. As you can see, it's a string as you're typing it. But it's like when you type it in, it says it's a string, but when it goes to here, it turns itself into an integer only because it's got this here. And now here, if we do something real quick, what we can do though is if t is equal to 1, let's just print test. See, however, if we do something like this, it will automatically convert it into an integer for you. So you don't have to do it in if statements, but if you're doing math, you do have to do it. That's a big takeaway. And if you want to, like, obviously, if you want to print it as a float, then what you'd have to do, like, say you want that as a float, it's very simple. You go float. So then it goes 2.0. Okay. And then last thing I think we need to get over with is the different types of things. So we come over to, which one is it? Yeah. So if you come over here, you can tell that this is a str stands for string.